Yo, it's me, it's the SCOTT. I'm back with another Nightmare Room review for you. And this episode is called Tangled Web. And it stars... Forgot to write it down. I know I should have. Hold on. Justin Bearfield from Malcolm in the Middle, David Carradine, Kung Fu, and I'm not kidding, Sting. Yep, that's Sting. And it follows the character of Josh, who just can't stop lying. And one day he gets a substitute teacher who tells him, well, if you say it, it must be true. So then everything he says comes true. And it gets out of hand, as you may think. So we saw the episode with Josh looking under his couch for a remote. And there's this weird cut here where he's looking and you see that there's a mousetrap under the couch. And he's talking to his dad. He's making excuses, of course, more lies. And he just about reaches the mousetrap, and there's the snap sound, and then it cuts to him putting the remote. It's like snap, and he's putting the remote down on the table at the same time the noise is made. It's a weird cut, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, but it's a weird cut. And so yeah, Josh is a pathological liar. He constantly comes up with excuses and lies to tell his friends and family if it'll get him out of stuff. And he tells quite a lot. And this is where it comes back to haunt him. They get a substitute teacher named Mr. Farber, played by David Carradine, Kung Fu himself, who is substituting like an English class or something, and he's coming to get the homework that was supposed to happen because Josh didn't do his homework. He makes him an excuse that escaped prisoners from an insane asylum, dressed as clowns, broke into his house, stole his brand new DVD player that happened to have his homework on top, and stole it. And that's where he goes, well, if you say it, it must be true. And so now everything that he says comes true. Like, the bully that's in this says, no, there's no way he's telling the truth. He's, yeah, I am. And then he's confronted, and something breaks in his bag, and he says, what is it? And he's like, oh, it's snakes from whatever the science teacher's name was. And it happens to be snakes coming out of it. Now, it takes him 3 or 4 different times that his stuff comes true before he realizes that everything he's saying has come true. The snakes, the people that rob his house, people in clown masks that rob his house. He even tells the bully that he has a big brother Frank who's in the military, and he was so bad regular schools couldn't handle him, and the military school couldn't handle him either. And his friend Nikki says that she'll ask her brother if he's got a friend that'll, show up. But some guy shows up claiming to be Frank, and somehow the principal now believes that there's another problem. See, the principal now somehow believes that Josh has a brother named Frank. But why is she the only one? Because Nikki, his friend Nikki, is still, when he asks, oh, you said your brother was going to have a friend. I never talked to my brother about it. So she knows he doesn't have a brother named Frank, but somehow the principal does? That doesn't make any sense to me. And the principal says she's going to call the parents, but he says she can't because they're on vacation. She's like, I'll leave a message. He gets home and he finds out they're on vacation in Hawaii. And that's where he says, everything I say is coming true. Really? It took you 4 times. The snakes, the clowns, Frank, And now your parents are on vacation. Now you realize that everything you're saying is coming true. But yeah, because the clowns come, they steal the brand new DVD player, and the homework is on top. And so, I also should let you know about a couple other lies that he says. One, he talks about a mummy that the hand moved, and it got up and it left the museum, and that's where they had to get rid of the exhibit. And then he talks about the professional wrestler Sting, and how he supposedly personally knew Sting, but because a friend was bugging him for tickets and stuff, he said, wait a minute. Okay, his friend's bugging. I just found another flaw with this episode. His friend was bugging him for tickets to some wrestling show that Sting was going to be at. This episode aired in like September of 2001. Sting wasn't wrestling in September 2001 because WCW went out of business and folded to Vince McMahon, and Sting did not go to WWE, so he wasn't wrestling at this time. So what wrestling show was Sting going to be at? Get your logic straight, TV show. But yeah, and so Josh's excuse for not introducing him is saying that he gave out Sting's email address to a bunch of people. They sent him too many emails and it crashed his computer. And now Sting said next time he sees him, he's gonna come after him. Those are the two you need to know. So he goes home and he finds out his parents are on vacation. So then this is where his lies really start to catch up with him. I mean, he starts to realize that his lies work, so he tries to use that to his advantage, but they go wrong because he doesn't think about it when he says the stuff. So the Frank guy shows up again and grabs him. A little bro. I like how he says that. A little bro. And then the ninjas show up. He said he has personal bodyguards, and that's how he got rid of Frank the first time. And so then the ninja bodyguards show up. Why didn't they show up when he said that he did? I don't know. And then Frank's just like, whatever he's paying, I'll double it. So automatically the ninjas, should have phrased it differently. They are ninja bodyguards that do what I say no matter what. And there you go. But then he could fuck it up again by saying something stupid. But the ninja guards turn against him. And then he makes an excuse saying that cops patrol this neighborhood all the time. You're like, and he said, no, I'm serious. All they do is patrol. Ooh, wording, kid, wording. Because the cops show up, and the clowns grab him, but he tricks them with that Deus Ex Machina of a mousetrap, and gets because just like he's looking for something, the clown guy looks underneath and gets snapped by the mousetrap, and he comes out and goes, help me, they're coming after me. And they go, sorry kid, we just patrol. He's like, but the clowns are here. He's like, all we do is patrol. You should have worded it better. So then he fucks it up again because they're coming after him. He's like, I'm alone. There's no one here. I'm all alone. And now he's all alone. He turns on the TV. There's no one there. He goes to the school to find Mr. Farber. There's no one there. So he rewards it and he says, I want everyone but Frank, everything to go back to normal. Except no Frank, no clowns, and no ninjas. Everything's back to normal. And then Sting busts through the door. I forgot about Sting. He goes running and tries to talk to the teacher. And this is where there's another problem here. Is he tries to talk to the teacher because there's someone after him. And he's like, I'm serious, there's someone after me. Or he hides and there's the mummy. And then he comes to run to the principal's office and said, there's a mummy coming after me, I swear. I'm telling the truth. She's like, yeah, like you were telling the truth about not having a brother named Frank. I'm like, well, wait, he got rid of Frank, so how could she still think he has a brother named Frank? It makes no sense. In fact, this teacher thinking he has a brother named Frank makes no sense in the episode at all. Because the character of Frank doesn't affect anyone else but her in knowing that he exists. Like, no one else just automatically knows that he exists. The parents don't acknowledge him, nothing. And, by the way, he never did bring his parents back from vacation. Because everything goes back to normal. But he got rid of the Frank, the ninjas, and the clowns, but his parents were probably still on vacation. Anyway, he then says there's a fire, so he can get Mr. Farber's number. But again, he didn't think about it. So then Sting breaks through the thing, and he's coming after him, tries to go through another door, and that's where the fire is, and it burns his hand. And then the next thing we see Sting and the Mummy come right after him, and it cuts to some kid saying, "Yeah, right, Mr. Ryan." He's like, what happened? Did the kid get it, or did he get away? And there's a teacher there, and he goes, "What do you think?" He goes, he thinks it's a lie, And the kid's like, "And I didn't cheat on that test." And the guy goes, "Well, if you say it, it must be true." And it's revealed that the guy has a burn on his hand just like Josh did from the door. And it's revealed that this teacher is an older Josh, now Mr. Ryan. And he's passing on, because he was able to get a hold of Mr. Farber, so he must have said something. We don't see how he gets out of it. It just cuts to this. And it says that Josh is still handing out lessons he learned in the Nightmare Room. And that's how it ends. This is a pretty good episode, I think. You got Power Up Sting, although it doesn't make sense that Sting would be in a wrestling show in 2001 when he wasn't wrestling in 2001. At least not for a major company. Maybe indie shows, I don't know. But as far as I know, he wasn't wrestling in 2001. Especially in August, September, whenever this aired. I'll look it up and I'll write it down and see if... Also, as I mentioned, the celebrities, no Disney Channel or Nickelodeon actors, just Justin Barefield, David Carradine, and Sting. I don't know which were on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good episode, right up there with... So far, the best episodes have been... it's like every other episode. The first episode was meh. The Scareful What You Wish For was pretty good. The Howler was meh. And then this one was pretty good. So the next one's probably going to be meh. I don't know which one it is. There's actually one of the episodes I haven't seen yet, and that's Locker 13. I don't think I've ever seen that one. I still don't think I have. Some other ones I've seen barely. The ones I've seen the most are the ones I've reviewed so far. Actually, last episode I'm going to review is the one I've seen the most because I had it on a VHS. We'll get to that when I get to it. But like I said, this episode was pretty good. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.